do sky replacement is using rotoscope. So for this tutorial we're going to grab sky replacement 4 and we're going to drag it into the composition button, and we've got 10 seconds of a flag flowing in the wind, and we want to replace the sky here. So the first thing that we will do is we'll double click this composition, and that will open the footage panel, because inside the footage panel is where we can do rotoscoping. Okay, make sure our layer is chosen, and then we'll come up here and we're going to click on the Roto Tool, and we've got a green line that'll tell it where we want to roto, and if you hold down the option button it gives us a red line to tell us where we don't want to roto. So let's first start with picking our flagpole, and we can do this in batches. I'm going to go Command plus to increase it. I'm going to hold down the option button, and I'm going to take out this little bit of sky. Continue down. Alright, and that part's not going to move. Actually, let's look up here, make sure we don't have any. That'll be fine. So that's not going to move, so hopefully we're not going to have any trouble with that. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we'll go back to the Roto Tool, and I'm just going to kind of draw this green line inside our flag, and it caught some of it. And so that caught the whole silhouette of the flag, and you'll see here that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 frames of video that it's rendered. So what we need to do is just scrub down frame by frame and make sure that our roto held. We'll say that's good. I'm going to make it just a little smaller. And sadly we have to do this frame by frame, because that's what rotoscope's all about. Let's see, then when there's this little fix here, we'll just add that, and then from that point on it'll add another 12 frames, and we'll just keep scrubbing down. Right, so you'll need to continue this business all the way to the end of the file, and I'm going to jump ahead to the next step. So when we get to the end, we'll just hit the space bar, and if you were very careful, we'll see that there aren't any mistakes going on, and we'll click on the composition panel, and this will actually reveal more. And that looks pretty good, but as you can see up here, our flagpole didn't necessarily make the cut. So we're going to fix that a different way. What we're going to do is grab another incident of that file and drag it in. And what we're going to do is we're going to save this as a Photoshop layer, and we'll call it Flagpole. And let's save that in your assets. And hit render. Command H will hide After Effects, and we'll open our flagpole in Photoshop just by double clicking on that file. Let's take the magic selector and see what it selects. And I'm going to hit Command X. That's going to cut that out. Make a new layer. Command V for paste. Plug that back over the hole. Delete that. Hit Command S, and then that updated our file. So we can go back to After Effects. Command I, and we'll import that flagpole. Importing it as footage is fine. Yes. And what we'll do is we'll drag that. We will close that. We don't need that anymore. And we'll drag flagpole on top. And then let's see what we have going on. Okay, so our existing flagpole is getting in our way, so let's mask that out. We will select sky replacement. Take our mask pen. Create a mask around that, hit M to call that up, and we'll call it into subtract. Okay. Now we can turn on our top layer flagpole, and let's take a look and see what happens. Alright, let's drop a sky back there. And put that at the bottom layer. We've got some nasty trees down here that I don't want, so we'll hit S for scale. Scale that up a little bit and hit P. Drag that down. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Now all we have to do is some color correction to make this all match. So let's first start by working on our flag. So we will add a lumetri, I don't know how to say it. But because of American hubris, I can say it any way I want. And let's go ahead and make the white stripes white. That kind of made them orange. Let's turn on our RGB Parade vector scope. Let's bump up the saturation. Hue versus saturation, and we'll pick that flag again. And let's go back up and lift the highlights up. Alright. Let's add another lumetri. Go back to curves again, and we'll pick the blue this time. And let's boost that saturation. And let's go to our flagpole, and let's pick out of color correction, let's grab hue saturation. pull some of the saturation out of our flagpole so it looks more like a flagpole. Alright, let's see what that looks like. I'm seeing just a little bit of need for edge correction on our roto. And so what we're going to do is let's increase the feather to 10. I'm not seeing any chatter, but if you do, we can add chatter there. Oops. We've got a whole bunch of flag missing right here. So now we got to go back into footage. And fix that. So back to the roto. Okay, let's see if that solved our problem. We'll just play it back, see what it says to us. I think we lost a little bit of flag right there. Alright, now I just want to pin our flag to the flagpole just a little better. And let's go ahead and put that flag on top now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the anchor point tool and we're going to put that at the top of that flag. I'm going to hit R and we're going to rotate that just a little bit. And then we'll hit P and we will drag it closer. And I want to make it seem like the bottom of the flag is attached to this hoist. Drag it a little right. Give it some wiggle room. And let's see what happens if we put it behind the flagpole, if that makes our lives any easier. Yeah, I like it a little better behind. I want to make my flagpole a little darker, so we'll take our hue saturation tool and just pull down the brightness a little bit. And then we will create a adjustment layer. I'm going to hit return so we can name it color correction, and we're going to add one more lumetri to that so that we can color correct the foreground and the background all together, try to marry them a little better. And in creative let's take a look at Kodak Clean Be Soft. I'm going to pull down the shadows a little bit. So now we'll render it, pre-render, call it your name, sky replacement 4. Make it a Apple ProRes light file, and make sure you tell it where you want it to render. Hit render and post it on canvas.